This is the plaintiff, Camille Valere. He says the defendant is his ex-girlfriend, and she owes him money for a trip they were going to take together for his birthday. Unfortunately, they got into an argument before the trip. She bit him. He bit her back, and they split up. Now she won't return the $720 he gave her for a trip they didn't take. So he's suing. This is the defendant, Ruth. She says the plaintiff's a hothead who pushed her to the ground, stuck his fist in her mouth, and then began choking her. So she bit him. She got a restraining order against him. He backed out of their relationship and the trip they had planned together and owes the louse $0. She's accused of dissing an ex. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,000 for pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milianza presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Valere, you are suing your former girlfriend, Ruth, Ms. Ruth, for $720 for a vacation that you were not able to take, and she was supposed to refund your money. You are counterclaiming against him $1,000 for pain and suffering. Let me hear from you first, Mr. Valere.
All right. I've seen Ruth here and there from time to time. We end up being close. So let me just get to the point. So
how long were you dating?
We were dating for about like a couple of months, about 4 or 5 months.
Okay, and at some point you folks planned to do a vacation where? In Florida?
Right, yeah. So I gave her the money. So
how much money did you give her?
I gave her in total $720.
170 was for an airline ticket that was in your name, right?
On her sister's name. Her sister had ordered the ticket online.
Right, but the airline ticket is in your name or you can't travel.
See, yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't the one that ordered the ticket.
Well, did you ask for it to be ordered? Because at the time you were going to go on the trip?
Yes.
Okay, and it was in your name, right?
Right.
Okay, so then the other money was for an Airbnb. And you guys end up in a fight. How long before Florida?
About 3, 4 days?
Okay, and tell me what happens.
So we was in my room at my house. We were laying down. She received a call from her sister. Okay. So her sister was like, oh, is Camille still going to the trip? And then she said, yeah, or whatever. So I got up. I told her, I'm like, look, your sister's not going to come to the Airbnb if she's not going to put no money on Airbnb. After that, it just escalated. She just got all loud, started pushing me, hitting me in my face. So I pushed her. She bit me, and I bit her back.
How did she bite you? Wait, don't gloss over that, because she's got a counterclaim against you specifically for that. So tell me what it is that happened in the fight.
All right, cool. So she started getting loud. I started getting loud. I told her, like, you're getting too loud because, it's like, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I got neighbors next door that's still sleeping. So I'm like, can you, be quiet? So, she hit me in the face right here. I pushed her down into my bed. I told her, I'm like, relax. And then she bit my left wrist.
How was your left wrist somewhere that she could bite it? Where?
I pushed her down from her shoulders. You pushed her down.
So where I see you, you push her down, and then what? What are you doing? Are you on top of her or what?
Yes. Yeah, I'm on top of her. Okay. I have my hands pushed down on her shoulders, telling her to relax. Mind you, she hit me.
What did she do at that point?
She found a way and bit my wrist.
Well, I wasn't there. I need you to describe it to me. How did she end up biting your wrist?
She twisted her body around and started yelling.
Which wrist did she bite?
She bit my left wrist.
Okay, and then what do?
I bit her back because it hurted.
Well, your reaction was to bite her where?
To be honest with you, I don't really remember where I bit her at.
Was it her head, her leg, her arm, her stomach? I mean...
I think it was her back, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, how is her back? How are you? Around. Okay, so you bit her on the back? Because she's wiggling?
Yeah, she was like that's the thing. She was moving all crazy and all
Okay, Ms.
loud.
Ruth, what happened that night?
Like he said, we were at his place, and I woke up from a phone call from my older sister, and he just gets up, he goes he uses the bathroom. Then by the time he comes back into the room and he's pacing back and forth, he's with aggression too. He's saying, your little sister isn't coming on a trip unless she pays. She's not going to stay in for free. So I said, my sister isn't going to pay anything. Because at that part, he had too much aggression. It was too much anger.
What was
And
he
then I
mad
told him
at?
my
Did that
sister-
phone call wake him?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So he comes in and he says, your sister's not going unless she puts money in. And what do you say?
Well, I say she's not going to put anything down.
Okay.
Yeah. My sister is 18. We were celebrating her birthday
Okay.
and stuff. So I told her she's not going to put nothing down.
And what did he do?
So then he said, I'm not going to go. He doesn't want to go. And he tells me to get my stuff and leave. So I packed up my stuff. I was going to work that morning. I got dressed for work and I'm ready to leave the door. He stands in front of the door and says, wait, you got to give me word on my money. When am I going to get the money? When am I going to get the money? I said, I'll give it to you after the trip. I don't have the money now. Be patient with me. I'll get it to you after the trip when I come back. He didn't want to take that as an answer. He wouldn't let me leave the door. He told me, you're not going to work today. You're not going to work today. You're going to stay here. Every time I try to get up to go to the door, he pushes me down. So my phone is in the kitchen charging. So I can't even go to my phone to call the police or anything. So his phone is on the bed. So I go to grab his phone to call the cops. That's when he pushes me down on the bed and put his hands around my neck, a choke. So one hand is on my neck and then the other hand is next to me. So that's when I seen the moment for me to bite him. Maybe he'll let me free, like you said. But no, he bites my shoulder right here. He bites it so hard, it's like he's eating a steak. Okay, I have pictures of it and everything. What else happened after that? From then on, yes, everything was kind of moving so fast. I remember being by the wall where his mirror was, and he's in front of me, and he pushes his fist in my mouth. It's not a punch, but he pushes it down on my mouth so hard that it causes rips inside my mouth. The police have pictures of that. I couldn't get the photos because they said I needed a lawyer for it to be subpoena or something like that.
Okay.
So from then on, I guess things calmed down. I don't really remember how it can't calm down, but I sat down on the bed. Thank God most of my stuff was outside his apartment. So I said to him, well, let me go bring my stuff inside. So, because he said he still wanted to talk. He wants to talk. So I said, well, let me bring my stuff inside so we can talk. So he lets me go out the door. I grab my phone. I walk outside the apartment door. I do not enter back. So I called the cops. The cops never showed up. So I Googled the nearest precinct. And from then on, I went to the precinct and made my report.
Did he ever get arrested for domestic violence?
I'm not sure if he has gotten arrested for
Did you end up
domestic
getting
violence.
arrested, Mr. Villier?
I ended up getting arrested about a month ago.
And
Because I had
what happened with that charge?
I got a final restraining order. Other than that, I just got a attend program.
We just got to attend a program. What does that mean? You're doing domestic violence counseling in return for a plea?
No, I have to do a battery intervention program, something like that, for about 6 months.
Do you have any convictions for domestic violence in your background?
From what I know, no.
From what you know, you should know, right?
No, because, I.
Ms. Ruth, is this the first time that he was violent with you?
No, it was one occasion where he pushed me down when we were in his room, but all it was a push, and he apologized afterwards. So I'm thinking, stupid me, thinking, okay, I'll give him another chance. I accepted the apology.
All right. Now, you told him that you would pay him his money for the Airbnb and the ticket. Why?
Because he said he didn't want to go anymore, and I wanted to give him his money back.
Okay.
But then after
this happened,
yes.
you no longer feel like there's an agreement for you to give him his money back. Were you couldn't cancel the Airbnb 3 days beforehand, could you?
3 days beforehand, I wasn't planning on canceling the Airbnb because I wanted to take my trip,
Right.
Enjoy myself.
All right.
And,
Let me ask you a question. Why, Mr. Villier, why didn't you just cancel your airline tickets before the flight so that you could use the credit on the airline ticket?
I didn't know how to, and I told her that.
You didn't what?
I did not know how to. I
Well,
told
then
her that.
figure it out. What do you mean? Why does
Cancel.
she have to figure it out for you? She can't cancel your ticket so that you can have a credit. She can't do it. She's not you. Only you can do it. If you don't know how to do it, here's how you do it. You call the phone number for the airlines and you ask them how you do it. That's how you do it. It's not like rocket science or anything. That's all you would have had to do. Well, you're a big boy. Why does she have to do it for you? I don't get that. Because if you had called before, that's the thing. If you'd called beforehand, before the day of the flight, you get a credit that you could use for a year. If you just blow it off and they're not able to resell the seat, then you're probably going to get nothing. I don't know. It depends. I don't know what the policy is of whatever airlines you were going to travel. But as far as the Airbnb, see, typically speaking, you're not going to get refunds on an Airbnb that close to departure anyway. But let me ask you this. If you're the guy who canceled, why would she be responsible for giving you money back after you assault her?
I never assaulted her. All I did was push her down because I was telling her to calm down, to relax, because she was getting loud.
All right. You went and filed a police report, and you also got a restraining order, and the restraining order was granted, correct, Ms. Ruth?
Yes.
And the police report, although I don't have the pictures, the police report says that you had cuts all over your mouth, inside your mouth, correct?
Yeah, they took pictures.
All right. You canceled, kind of on you, Mr. Villier. Even if she makes this empty promise before she's assaulted, because you won't let her leave, how is that a contract that she has to abide by what she said before things changed and she got assaulted?
Your Honor, she said she was going to give me back my money.
I don't care. Yeah, that was
So
before
I
you hit her.
said,
But
all right.
anyway, so $1,000 for pain and suffering. What is your pain and suffering? You've told me about what happened. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to that?
I'm traumatized. I've been in a domestic violence relationship before, and I've always kept my mouth shut. That traumatized me also, but now just reliving it, it's even more traumatizing. I feel like I've been depressed. I've been stressed. It's a lot. It's a lot of pain and suffering.
Have you been to a doctor?
Like therapy?
Yeah.
I haven't, no.
Okay. Have you been to a physical doctor?
The paramedics did come that day. They did check me out. They said if the bite mark starts to irritate me, it might start to cause an infection or anything for me to go back to the hospital. But I didn't go to the hospital. But the paramedics did come to me.
Okay. According to both your stories, you're pinning her down when she bites you. That seems to me like she bit you in self-defense, not you bit her in self-defense. You bit her in anger because you got bit. That's what it looks like to me. On your claim against her, 0. On her claim against you, I'm awarding her $500. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you so much.
So the defendant is the big winner in this case. Mr. Villier, you did not win the $720 you were suing for. Instead, the judge issued a judgment against you for $500 to go to her. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel? I feel as if it's not right because she even said she was going to give me back my money.
Well, you attacked her, and that's why the judge felt that way.
I
And
did not attack her. She attacked me.
You did attack her. You bit her. You can't do that. Ruth, let me ask you: how do you feel now? You feel a little bit better? I know this has been pretty rough for you. You've had a rough string of relationships with men, obviously, right?
But I'm growing older every day and I'm getting smarter. So I just want to say that if anybody is ever going through that, just leave the relationship right away. Don't stay because it's only going to get worse.
Well, listen, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Harvey?
So, Doug, if you are suing for pain and suffering, my best advice is keep a diary of the pain you're feeling as you're feeling it. Write it down just as it's happening. When you bring that diary into court and a judge reads it, you will tend to get more money than if you didn't come in with a diary at all.
If my special needs child is being bullied by an administrator at his school with expulsion, is he covered under the ADA law?
Yes, he should be covered under the ADA law, and children who have a disability that are in public high schools, for example, they're entitled to certain protocol to be followed before they can be suspended or expelled from a school. It would be, they do a thing called a reevaluation. They want to make sure that the disability is not actually the cause of the behavior that resulted in the misconduct that's going to cause this child to potentially be suspended or expelled. But there's two sides to every story, so we don't really know.
It's kind of a loaded question because it's phrased as bullied by an administrator, but the administrator's job is to
I got a feeling he or she's going to say, no, I didn't bully. I
just warned him, please don't do that or you're going to get expelled.
Right. And it's an unfortunate situation because you think about it, once a kid is out of school, they're missing out on the educational opportunity. They maybe become dropouts eventually if you just keep kicking them out, etc.
Right. So. The ADA is protection, but it also recognizes that other people have rights as well.
Right. They have to protect those other children too to make sure they have a safe and appropriate learning environment.